order. This is the meeting of the Carson City Consolidated Municipality Carson City Advisory Board to Manage Wildlife, and we're calling the meeting to order at 5:31 p.m. So, just a real quick notice to the public. Members of the public who wish to view the meeting may watch the live stream of the Carson City Advisory Board at www.carsoncity.gov/Gren. I can't read that. I apologize. Is it Granius? Is there a C in there? I apologize, you guys. I didn't bring my glasses. I'm so sorry. And clicking on in progress, and then you can view the meeting live if you want to. Okay. You as the public may provide public comment in advance of this meeting or any meeting that we have for the Carson City Wildlife or Advisory Board to Manage Wildlife, or make written submissions to our email address, which is through the clerk's office. Miss Brianna Munoz is who we have on here, but we may be switching that to Zach at one point in time, right? So until that happens and we agendize that, the email that we can use is bmunoz@carsoncity.gov for any inclusion or reference in any minutes of the meeting. Your public comment must include your full name and be submitted via email by no later than 3 p.m. The day before the meeting. Public comment during a meeting is limited to 3 minutes for each speaker unless the chair allows for more. But we tend to stick pretty close to that unless you are of an agency, then we allow you a little bit more time. So I'd like to call the meeting to order and ask Zach if you will conduct roll call, please.
Chair Beamer.
Present.
Vice Chair Thompson. Member Dimmitt. Member Fleming. Member Stewart.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Zach. And was the meeting properly noticed and posted?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. So at this time, we would like to ask if everybody would oblige us by standing up and citing the Pledge of Allegiance. And we would ask Mr. Corbett to join or to lead us in that, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. Public comment is invited at this time. The public is invited at this time to provide comment on any topic that relates to the matter over which the Carson City Advisory Board to Manage Wildlife has supervision, control, jurisdiction, or advisory power, including any such matter that is not specifically included on this agenda as an action item. No action may be taken on a matter raised during this period for public comment, so keep that in mind. So if there's something that you want to discuss, by all means, let us know that. And if we feel like it's something that's going to be outside of our consent or that we feel value in discussing, please let us know and we will consider that. So is there any public comment at this time? Step on up to the mic and recite your name for the record, if you would, please.
My name is Jake Ward, for the record. I'm the Fallon Fisheries biologist.
Good to have you here, Jake.
Thank you. I basically just wanted to come and introduce myself to everybody. Basically, Carson City is one of my county advisory boards at this point in time. I oversee Mineral, Churchill, Lyon, Carson City, Douglas, a portion of Lander County, and I do all of the fisheries resources within those counties. And so just wanted to come by and introduce myself to everybody. And
can I ask you, Are you responsible for the Walker River survey?
Yes.
You are.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so when you guys do that next year, I would absolutely like to be included in that.
Sounds good. I'll bring it up to Travis. Yeah, no, the survey
Travis
went
knows quite well. Travis knows.
the survey went really well this year.
It
This
sure
was
did.
Yeah, my first time conducting it. Chris Urquhart was the biologist before me,
Yeah.
and so he's taken a promotion within the agency. He's now our staff specialist over our hatcheries, which is awesome for the agency. And so this was a promotional opportunity for me. I come from the wildlife management area background. I managed Carson Lake Wildlife Management Area before this position. So,
Oh.
Yep.
I need to
Yep.
talk to you about swans.
yeah. Yep.
Well, appreciate you being here.
Yep.
Certainly, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but we appreciate you coming and introducing yourself to us. We will absolutely be calling on you
Yep.
when times come where we do our season setting if we have any questions, especially as it pertains to the Marlette watershed and, of course, Hobart Reservoir.
Yep.
Those are kind of right in our backyard, and we
Yep.
kind of pay particular attention to
Yeah.
those waterways. So.
Those are managed by Sam Cedillo out of Reno. That side of the
Yeah.
watershed at least. But yeah, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that I can, and I can put you in contact with him as well.
Awesome.
And then any sort of East Walker, Topaz, Carson River, Lahontan, anything like
Okay.
that, that'll all be in Mason Valley. So that's all me.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. We
Yep.
appreciate you.
Yep.
Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Any
guys.
other further public comment? Yeah. Come up and state your name for the record if you could.
Good evening, Robin Orloff here. And if someone could keep track of my time, I have trouble keeping
We do
track.
it for you. You
Yeah,
can see
you
that
do it
little
for.
timer.
So I wanted to talk about, I believe, 9D, Informational Administrative Procedures Regulations Policy Committee Report. And there was a meeting on the 20th by the committee that discussed the regulations. And my concern, and I've expressed it to the commission before, is that this is the only public body I know of that does not include public comments in your agenda. You do here, Carson City includes public comments in every single agenda for every single meeting. I go to several state meetings and they all include public comments that are written, they're included in the agenda, we can all read them. Even the interim legislature includes them. You can send in comments written the day of, the day after, they'll include them. The commission does not do that. And my concern is if you guys are discussing the 241 NRS 241,
Open
it
public
seems to me that that should be included. 241010 talks about transparency and how our public bodies conduct our business, and it should be as transparent as possible. 241.015 defines supporting material as material that's provided to at least a quorum of the members of the public body, that the public would reasonably rely on to deliberate or take action on a matter. And I would hope that public comments that come into you, you read, you consider, I believe you do. You might not agree, but when you deliberate personally and then in public and act, I hope you will take the public's feelings in consideration. And I think that it should be transparent if we're conducting our business transparently. 241-020, number 7 and number 11 say that once the public body receives a public comment, that it should be put on the agenda for the public to read. And then 241-0209 says that Reno, or it says a population of over 52,000 is required by mandate when you get public comment to put it on the agenda if it goes to the public body. So I guess the problem is what's the definition of supporting documents? I'm sorry, it's not public comment. I'm getting confused. I'm saying that the public comment should be considered supporting document by the definition by 241-010. Because it seems that what we send into you, you do consider. Sometimes our public comments do contain photos or videos. Some of mine have to the city, and that's included in supporting documents, the definition of supporting documents. So anyway, it's just kind of an issue. And I'm thinking at the least in the agendas, when it says who we write to for public comment, they might include, if any of the public wants to read the public comment, you can contact the commission.
Okay.
So anyway, you get the gist
I
of it.
I do, but I just want clarification. Are you stating that you have submitted or somebody has submitted public comment to this body and we haven't,
No,
we
no,
haven't
no.
discussed it?
Absolutely not. The
Okay, I just
city,
wanted to get
no, no.
clarification on
The
that.
city's great, and you don't have to discuss
Okay,
it.
but you're talking about, when you say 9D, you're talking about the Administrative Procedures Regulation and Policy, or APRP committee. You're saying they didn't provide public comment? Is
No,
that
they're
correct?
discussing what should be included in proper agendizing and
Yeah.
procedures, and they're going to be presenting it to the commission
Right.
and making recommendations.
And so that, just so we're all on the same page here, that at that meeting, or I mean, I'm sorry, at the commission meeting, there'll be a member from the Attorney General's office, which has purview over
Right,
NRS 241, right?
right,
They're the
right,
ones who wrote it and,
right,
and enforce
right,
it. And
right.
so I mean, anything that they come up with that is within the scope of 241, as far as public comment, supporting material, all of those things, I mean, they're the ones who develop the regulation and enforce it.
Sure.
So I would just, let's see what they come up with.
Yeah, and I'll
on
try
that,
to, yeah.
If we ever get public comment, I can assure you that the city provides that to us.
They absolutely
Or
do.
if you reach out to me directly, which has happened a few times,
Right.
then I forward that to the city clerk's office usually, and then they go ahead and make sure that the city attorney is CC'd on that. And
Absolutely.
then sometime, I don't know, Corbett, when you were chair, did the city attorney ever reach out to you and talk to you about public comment and issue and give you counsel on that? So that has happened with me as well. And so I think this is the fifth time I've been the chair of this body, but
Yeah, I'm citing you as an example, a good example.
oh,
The city is a good example,
Great.
and all the other state,
right. But if there's something that's happening at the state level that you're not seeing that, this public body wants to know that. Like, I will bring that up to the commission and say, hey, we got this report. Can you look into it?
that
Right?
would be great. That's all I'm asking, because
Absolutely.
they are considering it in this particular agenda item. And you guys are great,
Yeah.
but for
Well,
some
the
reason,
city clerk's office and attorney does a great job at making sure
They
that we're
do.
great, right?
they
So-
do. They do. They do.
So-
And we appreciate that.
Okay, great.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Mhm.
Any other further public comment? Please state your name for the record if you could.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Elise Monroy, and I'm here with Carson City Health and Human Services. And I'm actually here tonight to talk to you all, the commission, as invested and engaged members of the Carson City community. Carson City Health and Human Services is leading a needs assessment of the social services system across the city. The assessment is designed to identify gaps and strengths in the following social service areas: housing, food, healthcare, behavioral health, workforce development, and clothing. Information for this assessment will be collected through surveys and focus groups. The survey launched this week, and it runs through February 6th. And we're reaching out to community agencies and community groups and organizations to share information about the survey and encourage participation. So the people in my life who love me the most would call me a government nerd. I think of myself as a passionate public health policy person, and I know the importance, and I'm sure you do too, of people who sit on a committee like this, of understanding the community need. And we are trying to make sure that our elected officials and our state agencies have as much information they need and can get about community need relating to our social services system. So I have survey information for you, and as residents of Carson City, we would really value your opinion. Whether or not you use social services, it would still be great for the city's survey to be informed by residents who live here and care greatly about the community, which I know you do because you volunteer to be here. So as a government nerd who's interested in your agenda, I'm going to hang out for a little bit and listen to some of your conversation, but I would be happy to provide you with flyers or with our QR code if you'd like to take our survey. And I really appreciate the time to talk about this project.
Perfect. So
Thank
if you
you.
want to leave that up here, we can go ahead and let
Sure.
everybody take it if they want to.
I'd be
And-
happy to. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that'd be great. Thank you for
I
being here.
actually learned how to fish this year, so I'm excited to listen to the conversation that you
Oh,
have.
that
Yeah.
good. There you go. Do you have children, Elise? Okay.
Well, I do. They don't.
Okay. Good deal. Well, thank you. All right. Seeing no further public comment, we'll go ahead and carry on the agenda. We're going to go to agenda item number 5, which is a possible action item for the approval of minutes for our September 22nd, 2025 minutes. All of you have been provided a copy of those, and hopefully you've reviewed those. Any discussion or comment on the meeting minutes? Did you say that on the record?
Did I not? Yeah, I'm just going to abstain from this vote since I wasn't present at the September 22nd, 2025 meeting.
That was Corbett Fleming. Okay. Any questions, discussion on the meeting minutes? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the September minutes.
Motion made by Kirk Stewart. Do I have a second? You weren't. Okay, Doris is abstaining as well. With that, I will actually. So we're not going to be able to take vote on the meeting minutes, Zach,
We'll have to
because we
hold
don't
it
have
until
a
the next
quorum to
meeting.
be able to pass that. So this is what I want you to do: is will you go back to the clerk's office and just make sure that these minutes and the minutes for this meeting come up on our next meeting agenda, please? And we'll take action on that if we can establish quorum. Okay? Thank you. So no action was taken with agenda item number 5. Defer to next. All right, we'll go on to agenda item number 6, which is also a public or possible action item where we engage in some discussion and possible action to elect a chair and vice chair for the Carson City Advisory Board to Manage Wildlife for the 2026 calendar year. This is something that we do every single year. Excuse me. And so I would open up. I would open it up for any nominations at this time.
I would nominate Rob Beamer once again as chairman. He's done a great job so far.
You, Doris, you don't want to be chair? I'm happy to nominate you. Corbett, how you feeling?
I've done it before. If you don't want to do it again, you're on your second go anyway.
What's that? Yeah, this will be my second year.
I can change my thought and nominate Corbett for chair.
Yeah. Although this is my first time. I took it from you.
Okay.
Yeah,
It don't matter to me. I'll be chair. Or you
I'm good either way, but we're gonna have to do a vice chair too.
Then I'll nominate Rob Beamer as the vice chairman.
Okay, so Corbett, are you good? Like, are you gonna be able to make the meetings and stuff? Okay, I just want to make sure because
Yeah, the last couple I didn't make.
yeah, I felt like I was the chair 2 years in a row. I'm just messing with you. Anyway, okay, that sounds great. I accept that nomination. So let's go ahead and take it out for a vote then. Oh wait, we need a second, right? Yeah. So we have a motion by Kirk Stewart. Okay, and what about chair? Okay, great. So did you get all those, Zach? Kind of messed that up a little bit. Sorry. So we have a motion and a second for chair and vice chair. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Do you want to take over the meeting or do you want me to? Okay. Okay. Sounds good. All right. So going on from agenda item number 6, we'll open up agenda item number 7, which is a discussion only item update from attendees of the September 26th and 27th, 2025 and November 7th and 8th, 2025, Nevada Board of Wildlife Commissioners meetings. I know Doris and I attended the September meetings, right? Or no, which ones did we attend? The November meetings. What about the September 26th and 27th? Do we know where those were at? I don't even remember. Why do we have that on there? I think we already got a report from September. So let's go to November, okay? So anything you wanted to mention, Doris, about our November meeting? Go ahead and hit your button so we can.
You had asked me to pay particular attention to item number 24B, which was a discussion about the coyote hunting
Yeah,
contests. And this item came up and it actually passed 6-3 on the vote. And it was a very lively discussion. There was a lot of people who came forth and expressed their opinion. I took a lot of notes. There were several that were actually expressed their opinion for. There was a group of gentlemen there that were from a group that was called the, oh gosh, there was like 5 of them. They were from one group together. They were all sitting together, and they were Predator Hunter Group.
Yeah.
Predator Hunter Group. They were all the ones that were expressing the for. And they presented some very good arguments about how many coyotes, how cost effective the hunts were, as opposed to how many coyotes they could take down in one hunt, as opposed to having to take them down one at a time through
or
trapping.
spending millions of dollars
Yes,
doing it.
yes. There were also several people, individual people who were against it, citing the humane and inhumane hunting and all kinds of mass murder. And there was things brought up about how the 5 states around us previously had these contests, and they've all gone back and removed them. They no longer do them anymore. So it was it took quite a bit of time, took up quite a bit of time. And, but this was my first meeting and my first real discussion with this, but it sounds like this has been going on for quite a while. And there's been a lot of discussion about this over a couple of years, it sounded like. And so it was really kind of, I think the decision was already made before anybody even got up and discussed it. So it did pass 6-3, and that was really
And that was what passed was the regulation that we created
created
to allow for
to allow for.
it's like a permit system.
It's
right?
a permit system.
Yeah.
And the one thing I wanted to ask that didn't come up that I maybe you can answer me is this, is this something that's just done on private land?
It can be either or. So it can be done on BLM property, or they could say, hey, listen, you can hunt anywhere that's legal to hunt, right? And you report your harvests for the purpose of the contest, right? Now, one of the things that's interesting is we don't have, out of all 19 counties, if you will, right, including Carson City, consolidated, right? We do not have any like regulation that like limits the number of coyotes that can be harvested in a given year, right? And the reason for that is because the carrying capacity for coyotes in the state of Nevada is so far off the charts, right? The only thing that's worse than that is wild horses. So, I mean, the carrying capacity for that will never ever be within that range. So, and the cool thing is that the department actually does monitor that, but as part of the annual predation plan that they have, like we literally spend over $1 million or more every year paying somebody to go out and harvest these coyotes because they're affecting other ecosystems within the state, right? Horses, all kinds, right? Everything. Unbelievable. And so, these are just, I think that the appetite that I think that the board members, that my understanding is the appetite that the board members and all the county advisory boards had for this wasn't centered around so much, the harvesting of coyotes, right? But more so of trying to manage the ecosystem and trying to do it as cheap as we possibly can, not spending millions of dollars of taxpayer dollars to be able to do that, right? If you've got a group of people that are interested in it, then and willing to go out and do that, why are we not capitalizing on that resource, right?
Right. So if somebody just wants to do this out on BLM land, they just have to apply for a permit and
They don't even have
organize
to
it.
apply for a permit
Okay.
if it's not part of the contest.
Okay. Okay.
It's only if it's part of the contest are we going to regulate it. And I think rightfully so from a transparency standpoint, right?
right.
Like I agree with that from a transparent. We've all had discussions about this, right? I think that it's great that at least we're looking at this so that everybody's on their best behavior, that we're being ethical to wildlife, right? All those things kind of came into the moral aspect of it for me. I'm just speaking as one board member here, but and I think that seemed to resonate across all the county advisor boards over the last year and a half that or 2 years that we've been
Yeah, it
discussing
really
this.
seemed to me like this was beating a dead horse because
Really
it
is.
sounded like this had been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
These discussions and
One
So-
question, you did mention public and private. Did they talk about private? Is it required to have one on a private?
no, that was just my question.
If it's
'cause
if it's a coyote contest, right, harvesting contest, and I hate the fact that they label it coyote killing contest, right? Because really we're harvesting these coyotes. Now, granted, the meat, the actual carcass of the coyote is for some people isn't consumed and they don't have to consume it, but there's others that do. There's others that do actually take the carcass off. I know it probably sounds nasty to everybody, but I will tell you there's plenty of people that will use that. They'll actually feed their animals, like dogs and also like pigs and stuff, right? And so, hey, I'm all for it if it's staple for somebody, for an animal or something like that, right? Like, but they do take a lot of these guys will go ahead and skin that out. Ladies too. We've had multiple women participate in these, which surprised me a little bit, but it was pretty amazing to see how many ladies participate in this. And when you talk to them, I think it was interesting to see that their viewpoint on it was from a wildlife conservation viewpoint, right? And I thought I can get behind that. Like personally, I can get behind that, right? And so, yeah, that you're absolutely right. Even on private ground, you were going to hold a actual contest, you have to register the contest with the state, and it requires a permit not only for the contest but for all the participants participating in the contest as well. My understanding. So, which again, I think it brings in some revenue for the state. It also allows us to regulate it and have transparency, right? And be able to monitor those harvest rates and that sort of thing. Not to say that again we're ever going to even get close to what the carrying capacity is for any region, but it allows us to do that. Does that help a little bit? Yeah. Is there anything else, Doris, that was?
The other one that you had asked me to pay particular attention to was 24A, and this was just the, what was this one? Commissioners General Regulation 52A, motor restrictions and revisions related to fisheries. I think this had to do with catch and kill, had northern pike,
The northern pike in
the ice hole restriction size. Allowed for larger size holes with spearfishing.
are you familiar with that, Jake?
This was just. Was what? Okay. Okay, this
Come up
one.
here.
This one was related to the larger size holes, and it was really there was just some minor corrections made in the.
Okay,
There
so they
was
did
not.
make the corrections.
Yes,
'Cause
yes.
that's what we pointed out as cabs. is that there needed to be some corrections in there, so for clarification
Yeah,
purposes.
yeah.
But the motor restriction you said was for Battleborn Lake over in Reno?
Yeah. Yeah, that was, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I don't remember exactly now. Been a few months. But Battleborn Pond, which is one of our new, it's technically a wildlife management area in the Spanish Springs area. And so I don't remember exactly if they were allowing for motors.
Waterway?
Yes. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And
All
that
right,
was because
so-
it's in a residential area.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So those were the only two I really took a lot of
Awesome.
notes on.
Great. Great. And then the first day, I will tell you, thank you. The first day was pretty uneventful. I think we got a lot of reports and stuff, which I think some of the reports are really good. I came late. Thank goodness Doris was there, and I believe was Jean Green there as well. Yeah, used to be a member of our board. And so, but yeah, that second day was really the day where everything that we discussed as a board that we wanted to bring up or hear about from the commission. So, all right, with that, I don't see any more information unless you have any more, Doris. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close that item out. Next agenda item is agenda item number 8, where we receive an update and an activity report on the Carson City Urban Wildlife Committee. I will jump in and just kind of give a few things that has been being done here in our city, which is great. So we have had a group of youth that have are part of the Western Nevada Keystones group, which is a club here in Carson City. That's like a homestead, junior livestock agricultural club. So very similar to, I guess you would say like a 4-H would be something similar to it, or FFA. Grange. This is actually a spinoff of Grange. They no longer have Grange, Nevada. They wanted to group our group in, or the Keystones now, in with Grange, California, and we were not going to have that. And so, because they wanted us to pay all our dues to California. So we actually created our own group. When I say we, members of that group created their own group, of which, for the spirit of full disclosure, my family is a member of that group. And so we have what's called a Pee-wee club, which is kids age 9 and under. And so we have some leaders, my wife being one of them, who actually go on nature hikes. And this year, between the last meeting and this meeting, the kids all took a trek up to Chickadee Ridge, which was a lot of fun for everybody, and they got to feed the birds, and we actually brought like black safflower, which is what they recommend that we bring up there. And so, and then we also did a birding event in the Riverview area, where we got to show the kids different species of ducks, both diver ducks and dabbler ducks. We got to help them understand the difference between puddle ducks and whistling ducks, which was kind of cool. So we got to see like pintails and widgeon, and we actually saw some like cinnamon teal, which was super late for cinnamon teal. But they got to check those out, and all the kids, some of them jumped in the pond and got wet, and so that kind of ended the whole thing because everybody was cold. And so anyway, but they got to see that. So report on the Urban Wildlife Committee. I will say that I just had a conversation with Mr. Zach Campbell, who is the, I think he's the administrator for Western Region Conservation Education, I believe. I always get your guys' titles wrong. And so we are in the process. We had been reaching out to him to be able to do an annual urban wildlife report to the Board of Supervisors. They are finished with their report from 2025. And so we're ready to go. I'll let Mayor Bagwell know when we will provide that, and just would invite any of the board members that want to be participate in that, to be present at that meeting. It is during the day, unfortunately, usually in the mornings. And so, I'll let everybody know when that's going to be. And then if you guys want to come down and be part of that, well, I'll definitely recognize you when we give that report. Okay. So that's that. Going on to agenda item number 9.
1 second. You say Keystone Club?
It's called the Keystone Agricultural Society. So Western Keystones, they call it CAS, Keystone Agricultural Society. That's the state organization. And then we have a local organization that's one of the subsidiaries of that, called the Western Nevada Keystones. That's what ours is here. And then they have another one like out in Fallon area called Salt Wells Keystones, I think is what they call it. And so there's a whole bunch all over the state, clubs, but they have separate clubs within that club. So like we have at Western Nevada Keystones, we have a junior livestock or junior agricultural club. We have a homesteading club, and that's really promoted as a family type club. So we have both adults and kids that participate in that. And then we have an outdoor skills club, which I chair that. And we have a trap, skeet, and sporting clays youth shooting team that we now have, I think, 2 teams. Little report on that, I guess, since you brought it up, is that we have a varsity and a junior varsity team, and they participate in the statewide trap after school, youth after school trap league that they have twice a year. And in the fall, our teams took first and second place. And then in the in the spring, we took first and first. I take that back. We took first place, and we didn't place. The junior varsity didn't place. In the fall, we took first place varsity, and junior varsity took second. And so it's kind of cool. This upcoming season, it looks like we're going to have close to 3 teams because we've had multiple youth come and want to participate. And so it's been quite fun. We go and shoot on the first and third Thursday of every month at the Capital City Gun Club. So if you guys know anybody who wants to participate, have them come out. We usually start around 3, and the youth will get them out shooting and teach them. We put them through like a safety course first, and then we get them out shooting and stuff. So okay,
Go out and just watch them. The kids are pretty amazing to watch shoot.
they're
They
pretty
got
good.
some shooters out there.
They're pretty good.
Yeah. There's some. I got lucky and was out there when the kids were out there one afternoon. I was shooting sporting clays and watching those kids. It was really cool. It was neat to see the youth getting back into where they should be.
Yeah, we have 2 shooters that come out and beat most adults. They shoot like 25 straight. So it's like a perfect round of like trap and stuff. Like,
Got a pretty good culture here in the Carson Valley.
yeah, actually you'd be surprised. It has been really hard to get people to have some interest in it. And now that kids are doing it, right, we're seeing more and more kids say, "Oh, I want to try that," And a cool thing is a lot of females. So a lot of young ladies are coming out, which they tend to be the best shooters because they don't have to compete with their buddies, right? And they don't have that kind of an attitude, right? They're just like, if I hit it, I hit it, So they're a lot easier going. They're a lot more trainable than young men are, to be honest with you. And so it's been quite fun to see these kids blossom. And then we also have like a music club. So anybody that's into music and playing music, we have a club for that. We have a book club. So if anybody's interested in reading books, they do a lot of books like on self-reliance and homesteading and things like that. And more like, what do they call it? You guys probably know this, acropathy, or where you use like real natural remedies, like essential oils, and what do they call them? It's not that. It's called acropathy or something like that. I forget how to pronounce it. My wife would probably just totally smack me right now. She's like, "You should know that." So they do that, and they have like they do read books that are self-help books, right? That are things like that. And then anybody can recommend a book, that sort of thing. So a lot of different clubs within the club, and you just pick and choose what you want. Super, super inexpensive, like $40 a year for the whole family, right? Like, so it's a pretty affordable club to be part of. But anyway, that's a little bit about Keystones. All right, going on to agenda item number 9. This is a discussion only item. These are reports that are informational reports. I went through and looked at what's going to be discussed or what was on the agenda for all these subcommittees. I didn't really see anything in there that would be something that I would be concerned about. We did have a member of the public that talked about 9D as in dog. I think what we're going to need to do is see what they come back with as far as language, because there wasn't any supporting material that I saw that, is any proposals going forward or anything like that. So the commission meeting will kind of develop that out of the commission meeting likely. And they'll probably get direction on if the commission wants them to go forward. They have to report, all these subcommittees have to report to the commission on what they want to do. And then the commission is responsible for saying, oh, yes, we would like you to go forward in doing that. Or no, we want you to not worry about that because we're not interested in that. So keep that in mind, okay? So is there anything in 9A through I that any of the board members would like to poll for discussion? Further public comment, anything like that?
Did you see what was going to be in the emerging technology one? I didn't get that far into it, so. Still talking about the scopes and.
Oh yeah. So it's mainly the thermal imaging,
Okay.
Scopes, range finding scopes, all those things. And there is some proposed regulation language that the law enforcement division is apparently putting forward. Whether or not the commission has a appetite for it or not, I'm not sure. But again, something that we would get out of the commission meeting. Yeah. So keep that in mind. Anything else? Sure. All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and move on to agenda item number 10. Okay. Agenda item number 10 is our consent agenda, or starts our consent agenda. Now, any item on the consent agenda can be polled for discussion, and even it's the chair's discretion to allow for public comment. Is there any items on the consent agenda that any of you would like to poll before I tell you mine? Maybe you want to pull anything for discussion.
I have nothing. I read through most of it and I'm good with
Okay,
most of it, so.
perfect. So I would like to poll. Agenda item number 10C as in Charlie. This is a petition, that from Joe Krathwall. I just want to pull it mainly to make sure everybody's aware of what this is and what he's trying to accomplish here, right? I still haven't received a lot of information on this, so if anybody that goes to the commission meeting this week, I would just ask that you take note of that and be able to report back if that's possible. And then I'd like to poll agenda item number 10D as in dog, which is the CR 2507 and the 25-26 and 26-27 big game seasons, which is where we set our seasons. So this will be something that now Corbett they do all these season settings and quotas on a online platform. Okay, so the chair is responsible for making that happen. You have to go in. If you want me to do it, I will. But you have to go in and actually register, and then go ahead and voice what our position is on that, whether we support it or not. Did he send? Did you get it? Yeah, that should have been from the Emerging Technologies Department. Yeah. So, yeah, give me a call and we can go through that. So I'd like to pull 10D. I'd also like to pull 10K as in kite. Commission Regulation 2607, which is the 2026 black bear seasons. And I believe that's it. Okay, so I'd like to pull 10O is an Oscar. Oh, L is in Larry, yeah. Mountain Lion, I'm glad you said that because I have that as well. So let's pull 10L. Thank you for being here. 10L, 10K, 10.
C.
Is it C?
Yeah, C, D.
Okay, 10C, 10D, 10K, and 10L. Is that anybody else? Okay, so then can I get a motion to support, a motion of approval to support 10A, 10B, 10E through 10J, and 10M as in Mary?
I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion on the floor and a second. Any further discussion on the item? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously for those agenda items that we did not pull. Okay, so let's start off with 10C as in Charlie. And let me get my paperwork here in order. This is a petition that this gentleman is asking the commission to modify our regulation, which is NAC, the Nevada Administrative Code, right? On how we issue rehabilitation permits and the rehabilitation permit law to allow more lives to be saved by NDOW licensed rehabilitators. And so, again, there wasn't a lot of information on that this guy presented. I'm hoping that he's at the commission meeting so that he can expand on, you know, what's outside the scope of what our current regulation is that would be something that would be beneficial to the state and to wildlife, right? I'm all 100% for rehabilitation of wildlife if it's possible, right? But a lot of times what we find is that a lot of animals need to be euthanized because they're not going to have a quality of life, right? They have to live in captivity. And I have a feeling that's what we're talking about here, is that it would allow more animals to be put in zoos and that sort of thing for the public to make profit off of. And so for that purpose, I don't know that the commission's going to have an appetite for that. I'm kind of neutral on it. You know what I mean? If it saves the life of a mountain lion or something, and the public can get benefit out of learning about the animal, that sort of thing, as long as they're being cared for properly. I'm kind of neutral when it comes to that, you know, but the fact that we would be making money off, or a private entity would potentially be making revenue off of a wild animal from the state, some people look at that differently, right? And so I just wanted to make sure you guys were all aware of this, that if you do hear about it, or those of you that may be attending the commission meeting, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, that we probably want to know a little bit more about that to be able to take a position on it. Unless you guys anybody wants to take a position on it now.
No, at this point, I think we probably should stay neutral because there really isn't enough information to go on.
Doris or Corbett, you guys feeling that same way, or? Okay, perfect. So with that, I would ask for a motion to, that the Carson City County Advisory Board, at this time, provide a neutral position on this petition until we hear more information. Can I get a motion on that? Thank you, Doris, motioned. Do we have a second? Okay, Corbett will second. Any further discussion? See none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Going on to 10D as in dog. This is Commission Regulation 2507. And this is these are what the game division, Sean Espinoza, who's the administrator for the game division, is proposing for the big game seasons for 25-26 and 26-27. So this year and next year. And this is done in 2-year increments. Hopefully you guys got a chance to take a look at that. He is recommending some changes to the antelope season. So they're going to add an additional split season structure for hunt units groups 141, 143, 151 through 156 of the any legal weapon hunt, which occurs August 15th through August 26th. And also on August 27th through September 7th, the late season, for both residents and non-resident seasons. This is proposed to help alleviate hunter crowding and pressure in high quota unit and in a high quota unit group. The next item that he is proposing is changing the muzzleloader season for the hunt unit 141, 143, 151 through 156 from August 15th to August 21st, which is what it is now, to September 24th through October 4th to accommodate these proposed changes in the any legal weapon season structure that I just aforementioned. Okay. And then going on, they're providing more opportunity to junior hunters by proposing 7 additional hunt unit groups to the resident junior antelope, horns shorter than ears, any legal weapon hunt, including all of the units that they have listed here, which is 065, 142, 144A, 066, 076 through 091, 101 through 104, 108, 109, and 144B, and then 111 through 114, 115, and 181 through 184, which is in our backyard over here in the Sweetwaters. For desert bighorn sheep, they modified hunt unit description and season for hunt unit 173 North, any ram, any legal weapon, to reflect all of hunt unit 173. They also changed the season dates to September 1 through January 1. So that's kind of a big change, something we have not seen in the past, right? And they separated this unit out, I believe, because of the pneumonia virus. They're trying to segregate herds and manage those herds separately, I believe. If I recall that, it was such a long time ago, but I think I recollect that. And so, and then they're closing the non-resident any ram hunt, any legal weapon hunt for hunt unit 213 due to disease concerns. They're establishing a management ram hunt for unit 164 to depopulate the herd and reduce the potential of disease risks in this portion of Nevada. An early and late hunt is being proposed. So that's more to come on that. And then they'll be closing the management ram hunt for hunt unit 173 north because they combined it, right? And so, and then also they'll be closing the resident anti-ram archery hunt for hunt unit 213 due to disease concerns as well. So, then on California bighorn sheep, they reestablished anti-ram season for units 111 through 113, which is awesome to see, right? We had huge problems with pneumonia in these units. They closed it down because of it under the Rockies mountain, and then they also, I'm sorry, for the California bighorn sheep, and then they also they're going to make the season date for that September 1 to November 10th, which is a pretty lengthy season date, which is kind of cool. They added hunt unit 014 and 2012 to account for movement of bighorns between the two hunt units, which we're seeing a lot of pass through into different units. And so just so that nobody is, help out hunters that are drawing those tags, that they're staying legal. They felt like it was a good idea to make that happen, which I like. I like the fact that we're not, creating a potential problem from a legal standpoint for hunters, right? That wait sometimes their whole entire life to draw one of these tags, right? And if they do something silly that they weren't aware of or something like that because of a situation like this, and then they end up getting their ram taken away, and it's just not good for anybody. And so they also established an early and late season for 068 to reduce hunter congestion. And then established a management ram hunt number 8172 for hunt unit 066 to assist with depopulation efforts within the snowstorm mountains. An early and late hunt is being proposed from September 1 to October 15 and from October 16th to November 30th. And then for Rocky Mountain bighorns, are reestablishing a season for hunt unit 091, which has been closed. And this is an interstate hunt with Utah. Excuse me. They're proposing the season for that as September 1 through November 30th. Then moving on to elk. They are recommending 4 changes there, eliminating the antlered depredation hunt and hunt unit 251. They've achieved the totals that the management plan had for the depredation hunt, which is great. We want to see that, right? And so since 2022, that season, only 2 bulls have been harvested during this hunt. 25 tags in totals is what they have stated. They've introduced a early season spike hunt and hunt unit group 161 through 164 for October 1st through October 20th to redistribute hunters from the existing late season hunts. They're adding 2 seasons, December 1 through December 31st and January 1 through January 31st, to the antlerless depredation hunt in hunt units 114 and 115 to alleviate elk damage to agricultural crops occurring after the existing hunt ends on November 30th, which is a big issue with some of the ranchers down there. They're saying, yeah, it's all great, fine and well that you guys have increased tag quota for these units, right? But where we're seeing the most damage is after the season's over. And so they're saying that the bull to cow ratio is way offset during those times. And a lot of cows are moving in. It's wintering range, right? So a lot of cows are moving in from other units to winter there. And of course, just destroying some of the pivots that are out in those areas. And so this is a request from ranchers and people have agriculture out there. I think it's a good idea. I think they're going to be able to get some real control on that for some of our agricultural folks. No changes to moose and no changes to mule deer. So that's it in a nutshell. Hopefully you guys all got a chance to kind of review that. I wanted to make sure so we didn't have to go through in all the tables and stuff. So hopefully that was a good review of that. Any questions, concerns? How are you guys feeling about that? Do you feel like you want to support these, or do you have any concerns about it?
It's cool to see it all come around, right? Because we went to that last Reno one, or I went to that last Reno one, and it was a very passionate conversation from the biologist, especially down over for the Nelsons,
Yeah.
on how he was so disappointed to see that healthy herd start to trend in the wrong direction. And at one point, I think, not to direct quote him, he's like, I see this now as my career as a failure kind of thing. So it's cool to see that other are coming back, given similar disease, right?
Yeah.
And it gives optimism for those down there.
I think that was Mike Scott that said that.
Yeah.
So that's good. I agree with that 100%. I think it's great. So any concerns, any questions, any further discussion on this? Yeah. So with that, if there's no further discussion, I would entertain a motion to support the proposed regular season changes and quota changes being made by the department.
I would motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Corbett Fleming, a second by Kirk Stewart. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right, going on to agenda item number 10K as in kite, which is our black bear, I printed one extra one here, sorry. I will just say that let's see here. Is this it here? Bear with me, you guys. Sorry. I think I printed some extra stuff here I didn't need to print. All right. I did. Oh, here we go. Okay. So I would say that so this is a commission regulation that 2607, which is the 2026 black bear seasons. The department recommends no changes to the 2026 black bear seasons. Opening and closing dates remain the same as the 2025 season. Hunt unit groups and boundaries and descriptions remain the same as the 2025 season. Dates of the indoctrinal course prior to the 2026 season have been updated, and hunting hours remain the same for the 2025 season as well. Any questions, concerns, anything like that that we should be bringing up to the commission on the black bear season that anybody sees? They're not making any changes, but
I'll stay the same as far as
I
can
wanted to
see.
make sure, since we have a new committee board member, that if you had anything that you were concerned about, that we gave the opportunity to talk about that. So
When do we normally get the biologist in to discuss? Is that the black bear? Because we usually have the biologist like once a year, right? Come in and we have a big discussion on the black bear.
I
It seems-
mean, it just depends. I mean, if they're making changes and we're getting a bunch of public comment, then anytime we would ask a biologist to come in to provide some further direction to the board, right? And so it's kind of as needed, if you will. Sometimes they just automatically come because they know that other cabs have already voiced issues with, members of the public, and they say, hey, let's get ahead of this. Usually they'll reach out to the chair and say, hey, I was planning on attending your meeting. What time and day is it? And even though it's published on the website, but
We've had previous comments on these. over
on the black
last
bear
years.
hunts, without a doubt we have, right? Because we're the only
One of
county really, one of the only counties, Douglas County as well, and part of Lyon.
Mhm.
And so, but really everybody comes to the Carson City CAB meeting. I will say Douglas County gets their fair share of folks because so many people from California have moved down in Douglas County that anything say anything about black bears and that there's even a season on them, right? People are starting to realize that, hey, we really need to have this to manage our bear population, right? And manage it successfully, right? Like I don't know about you guys, but I love seeing bears where we live, man. And we need to do a better job at, I think, helping educate the public, right, on how to be bear aware, right? And I think the department, their marketing campaign to do that has been spot on and has worked for a lot of areas. I know, like if you go up into the Lakeview area or Timberline area, you say bear aware, everybody has received gobs of information and guidance on that, right? And for the most part, I would say that most people do a pretty good job at securing their trash, securing their homes, you know what I mean? Not making it just an easy invitation for bears to break into your vehicles or to trash cans or that sort of thing. That being said, there's always those people that, like to leave all the apples out so that the bears come in their yard and the deer come in their yard and they don't realize what it does to their neighbors, right? And how it affects their neighbors potentially. And so, again, we try to use our best judgment when we communicate and guide people on that. We're really fortunate here because we're the only county advisory board that has an urban wildlife subcommittee, right? And so we have in the past given a lot of guidance on this, and we have it posted on the Carson City website. We link to resources on the state website, all those things, right? So the amount of people in disdain of the black bear season, I think, has gone way down and by the wayside because they realize, A, it's not going to go away because we have to have it, right? It'd be irresponsible not to do it, right? And so I think people have just said, hey, it is what it is. This is the way it's going to be, even though I don't agree with it, right? But for the most part, people that have been affected by black bears in a negative way, they're all for, I've had multiple people say, at first I didn't want to have anything to do with a black bear season until they broke into my house. And I felt like it was something I did everything to prevent that. And it was pointed out to me, and it was a very good lesson learned that I didn't do enough, right? And so now they're all for regulated hunting as probably the best way of managing our black bears. And just the black bears continue to escalate above numbers that that increase every single year.
That's
right?
kind of where I was getting at. So previous years, right, we have suggested increasing quota, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was hoping that the biologist would be here so that we could have those numbers to help support.
I don't know that we'll see that. I asked about it for this season, and I was told, the leadership of Nevada Department of Wildlife is not wanting to entertain it. And so,
And it's one of those ones, just having the biologist, I thought it would be nice to have that information again to help support the decision. But then also looking at it just in previous conversations that we've had, right, that we don't really ever touch the limits that would affect the species in the ecosystem right around here. And then also the fact of, I believe this was correct, that more are killed with car accidents than by hunters in the state of Nevada.
Still to this day,
And it's still
every year, every year it's that way. So
one of those things where it's, even if they don't have the appetite, I like the idea of still supporting it if that's something that we've supported. But given that we don't have the biologist and I do not have the numbers, I don't have a number that I would like to put out there. So I'm okay with.
it's
I just want to
significantly
go on
more.
the record
Yeah.
that I still think, given the stats, numbers, and everything, with everything else that we say, let's let the numbers and biologists talk. It seems like this one continues to be. We'll let them do that, except for this one.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So with that, I would entertain a motion, unless there's any further discussion. I'd entertain a motion to support Commission Regulation 2607, the 2026 black bear seasons as proposed. Okay, motion by Doris? Second by Corbett. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Going on to agenda item number 10I as an igloo. Kirk, did you want to introduce this one or do you want me to?
Oh, you can.
Okay, perfect. So this is a CR 2608, which is the established mountain lion seasons and harvest limits. The department is making no changes to the open units or the closed units, and no changes to the statewide harvest limit, which is still at 247. This, not this year, but the year before, was the closest in history that we've even come close to 247, and we were still like so far off it was unreal, right? And so so I see why they're keeping it that way. It was meaning that we didn't even come close to the harvest limit. Yeah, we've never come close to the harvest limit. In fact, most years are in the double digits, never in the triple digits. It's because normally the best way to hunt lions is when there's snow and with dogs, right? And when there's no snow and you're still hunting them with dogs, it's even more challenging than if there's snow. It is really difficult to hunt them. And so that being said, we still offer lion tags, kind of unlimited lion tags to the public. Anybody can buy them. Can you buy two? You can buy two?
Yeah, you can buy
Two tags?
Yeah.
Huh? One at a time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to harvest first.
Yeah.
Then you can go back, if there's quota, and purchase a second one, right? Same thing with like swans too, right? So it used to be that we didn't even come close to the swan issuing the number of tags for swan tags. They allot for 750. This last year was the first year that we had to turn people away for swan tags ever in history. So we had something like, I think it was like 18 or 1900 applicants, something like that. And so a lot of people didn't receive, there was a lot of people that applied for swan tags that didn't receive them, which I think is great because that means that more people are interested in going out. And I don't know if you've ever seen a swan as they come into a marsh or fly over and listen to them. It's the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life, right?
Yeah.
And I will just tell you, like the comment was made to, can you eat a swan? A lot of people refer to them as the ribeye in the sky because they are so good, right? That they're a real pink meat and not like regular geese, if you will. And so they're compared to like sandhill cranes, which is the true ribeye of the sky, right? And so, yes, they are really, really, really good. Some people take the neck because there's so much flesh on the neck and make swan neck soup out of it. And it's something that is kind of a delicacy in a lot of regions. And so, interesting. I've never done it, but so with the lion seasons, there's no changes. I did want to point out, I thought it was important to point out that the harvest limit of 247 was going to remain the same, which kind of defeats the argument that we hear every year with regard to mountain lions, is that, you know, there's not enough to sustain us just having an unlimited amount of tags that we can issue. And the fact is that we go back to the harvest data and we don't ever even come close. I think not this year, but last year was, or the year before last, was the first year that we actually got into the triple digits, but we didn't even come close to 247. Like it was, we harvested more lions 2 years ago than we ever have seen ever.
Yeah. Is that something maybe because everyone from out of state's coming in with the talk of the
It is
permit?
absolutely that there was a huge influx of out-of-state hunters because some, like California, completely banned hunting mountain lions, right? And they got probably the worst problem out of any state in the entire United States with mountain lions. And so what has happened in California, unfortunately, is that residents just take it into their own hands and just don't tell anybody about it when they kill one, and if it's a nuisance or something, or killing their livestock or their animals, that sort of thing. I'm glad Nevada hasn't done that, because then we don't want people doing that, right? We want to make sure it's regulated. We want to be the ones who's in charge of that. Again, the science tells us that, right? And so, yeah. So anyway, no changes. Any further discussion on this item?
No, I just really wanted to bring it up, just giving it for the comment, because that table can almost be a little confusing when you see 247 it's bunched. Some brains probably look at it and go, "Oh, each one's 247, so we got 1,000 here." But like you said, it's just 247 for the
Yeah,
state.
that's
not-
exactly right. Yep, that's exactly right. So, appreciate you bringing that up. So, with that, I would entertain a motion to support this regulation made by Sean Espinoza, the Game Division Administrator, as written.
I'll make a motion to that.
So, a motion on the floor by Kirk Stewart, seconded by Corbett Fleming. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. That closes out agenda item number 10, and we move on to agenda item number 11, which is for a discussion item. The Carson City Advisory Board to Manage Wildlife we need to discuss members' commitments to the meetings on tomorrow, January 23rd and 24th on Saturday in Reno, and March 13th and 14th in Boulder City. The Reno one, I was planning on attending that. Unfortunately, I got asked to teach duck calling at the sheep show for the youth outdoor experience exhibit. And so I'm going to be doing that between noon and 3. And I have meetings in the morning with my real job at the state. So there's no way that I can make that happen. So if one of you guys might be available to attend the Reno meeting, that would be fantastic. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. Well, we'll put Corbett down for Boulder City. And, yeah. Okay. So that is pending his confirmation for the record. Is anybody available tomorrow and Saturday? That's where we're going to see the bulk of everything here. So if you can go Saturday, Doris, it is. So exactly where we went the last time. Yeah. Kirk, you good?
I am
I
at
know.
the OGT trailer on Friday.
Oh, you
and-
are doing it?
Yeah,
Oh, so I'll see you there. That's great.
yeah.
All right,
So
cool.
I'll only be there until about 12:30. But
Okay.
yeah, I'll be there.
Cool, man.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
All right. So that's great. We at least have coverage. So again, just when you guys go, make sure that you take the opportunity at the beginning of the meeting to announce that you are your name and that you're representing the Carson City County Advisory Board. Okay. Perfect. All right. Agenda item number 12 is a discussion item. Any future agenda items anybody wants to propose that, so we can give that to our friends at Carson City Clerk's office and anything? Seeing none, we'll go on to agenda item number 13 is our second public comment period. The public is invited at this time to provide public comment. Any public comment here in Carson City? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close out public comment. And I would make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 6:50 p.m. Perfect. Motion by myself and seconded by Corbett Fleming. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.